Hi, everybody. My name's Stephen Bull, and I'm the team lead for the StudyStack team for CSCI 441 at Fort Hays State University. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about StudyStack. I'll start for a little bit, and then I will end up passing off the demo to my amazing front end and back end teams so that they can give you a little bit more insight on both of their parts and the part that they played in bringing this full application together, which is nothing short of amazing. Fantastic team. So uh, let me get started. So let me tell you a little bit about StudyStack first. So StudyStack, kind of came as an idea to me. Just as a full-time student, I was juggling multiple courses, a full-time job, extracurricular activities, and a family. I found it increasingly hard to just keep up with my studies and everything. Traditional study techniques like reading textbooks and jotting down notes and reviewing those notes are useful, but pretty time consuming and honestly pretty monotonous. Plus, let's face it, old fashioned paper cards just, you know, they're not practical anymore. Take up space, take up a lot more time, get easily lost, torn, soaked in coffee spills, because I've been there. So some of my friends have tried existing learning applications as well as myself, but they come with their own set of problems. Mainly my friends who are non-technical, and even myself, I find that these systems are way too complex now. Like I just want to have a fancy flashcard app. I don't want to have to, do all this extra stuff, and I just want to see what I want to see, and I want to do it quickly. I just want to get in, learn, get out. So that kind of brought StudyStack to fruition here. So this is mainly for self-learners who, are increasing in number, mainly because of the rise of online courses and tutorials. But they also face the similar changes or challenges as well. Most platforms are either too clunky or user interfaces become, you know, too burdensome, basically. And a lot of these applications now, all have their hand out for money. So that becomes a financial burden, especially with students. They're trying to keep their budget afloat. They're trying to, stay conscious. So, we kind of brought all those aspects together for StudyStack, and I believe we created something very special. So, what is StudyStack? So, StudyStack is an app for you. It's an app for me. It's an app for teachers. It's an app for everybody. It's a user-focused application for learning. Um, so I kind of don't want to say it's a glorified um, note card app, but it really is. And that way, um, that way you can keep all of your note cards, your flashcards all in one place, safe, never going to be lost, unless for whatever reason you want to delete your learning stacks or what have you. So you can come in here and you can access your flashcards at any point in time. You can organize them based on subjects, and you can even uh, you know pull them up whenever, really. Um, Also, one of the benefits of StudyStack is you can study your favorite subjects for free. We will never charge you. We will never have additional, an app store listing where we're going to charge you money for the app. We're not going to have things where you can basically anything behind a paywall will not happen. We have students in mind, really, and we want to keep this as low budget for them and not be a financial burden. Um, so, Using our app, learners and teachers can facilitate expedited learning. Teachers can use this as well to help their students learn concepts. Flashcards are great, not only for immediate memory, but extended memory as well. And one of the things that we utilize to help you memorize things is a spaced repetition algorithm. And what that means is If you look at several flashcards, let's say the first flashcard right, you get the second flashcard right, but you get the third one wrong. So, obviously you got the first two right. You don't need to see those again during this learning session, but that third one that you got wrong, you definitely need to see it again. And so what we do is we use a specialized algorithm to find a place in your deck where we're going to reinsert that and then show it again at a later time in your same learning session so that you can see it again over and over and build that long-term memory. StudyStack will also be giving you an integrated learning experience. You can share your stacks with friends. Your flashcard stack. You're like, hey man, like that's a really great physics study stack. You mind if I use that? Yeah, and so your friend can send that over to you as well. That way, you don't have to create your own. You don't have to sit there and stare at the computer screen and stare at your friend's phone and kind of copy it over. This kind of you know makes the user experience really great. And finally, security is top of mind with StudyStack. You can be sure that your data is encrypted and protected end to end. And what that means is that whenever we send data from the front end to the back end or from the back end to the front end, your data is encrypted, cannot be picked up by packet sniffing or anything like that. Granted, a lot of our data is not super sensitive. However, we make sure to treat all data like it is. And that way you can rest assured that all of your data is safe. Now, moving on to the demo, our front end team, they are the architects behind the vision. They're fantastic. The team consists of Hyojin, Preston, and Reagan, and they've architected and designed the entire client side for a learning focused user experience, and it's fantastic. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to our front end team.
Hi guys, we are the front end team for Team StudyStack. My name's Preston Deschaine. This is Hyojin Park. Today we're just going to give you a little synopsis of what we have done for the front end side of the site and a little tour of our site so far.
Hi, I worked as a front end when I am responsible for designing and implementing the visual aspect of the web page, including layout, colors, fonts, and graphics. Throughout this role, I aimed to create a user-friendly web application, ensuring an intuitive user experience. Preston created a fantastic logo for our website. I used the color and the overall vibe from the logo as a foundation to design the landing page. I explored various layouts in Bootstrap and conducted research, but I found that the Crusher component effectively served the purpose of our website, and it has a nice effect before entering the main page. That's why I choose it. Crusher like a image slider that displays multiple image and text slide to introduce my page. And Preston, can you continue?
Yes, so now I'd like to take you guys on a tour of our website. So we can click sign in here. Oh, my mistake. I'll log out, and here's our sign in page. So I created a sign in page as well as our registering page. They look very similar, but this is how we create our account. But right now we're going to move to our sign in. We're going to use our credentials here. And just like that, we're signed in. So as you can see from our home page, we have our name up here. This is going to bring us right back to home. And right here, we have our logo straight in the center, so you know where you're at still. And as you can see here, we have our categories, or what we call stacks. We have, science, computer science, math, business, just examples for viewing purposes. These here are hooked up through our database. So that's how these are here and correlated together. For example, here you can see we have a card for physics. And in our final demo, when clicking Start Studying, this is going to pull up a flashcard just like it would in any other flashcards app, showing a big card with our term on one side. When you flip to our definitions and scrolling down, we're going to have a list down below of all of the cards that are going to be in the stack. Moving up here to our nav bar, we have our search for categories or stack, which, you know, if you use our app continuously and you're going to have a lot of stacks on it, it's going to be easy if you want to find something specific. Moving on over on our nav bar, we have our profile area where we have the My Profile. This is a page that I designed where we are going to have the ability to upload a profile picture. You can enter a small description about yourself so that others, you know, if they want to know about you, what subjects you're interested in, anything, any information you'd like to share, you can put in this section, as well as having a first name, last name, username, and email. In the future, we're going to have in our final demo, our dark mode is going to be active. So, and that's going to be something that goes across the whole entire website, changing everything, you know, instead of white, it'll be darker. You know, I know everyone in computer science likes a nice dark mode. That's something I'm currently working on getting implemented. Then moving on our nav bar, we have studies, add study. This is something that Hyojin made that all of us at Team StudyStack really like. So we have our abilities to create new stacks. For example, we're going to type in what the category is, the name of the stack, a description for what, you know, what the class may be, you know, if it's something for, you know, a quiz, a test, anything like that. As you can see here, when we click add, that's going to add another one and delete. And then in the future, once the backend has been hooked to the front end completely, when creating a stack, when clicking that, it's going to create your new stacks. Finally, that brings us to our last page on our nav bar, which is the contacts page that Hyojin created. For example, they're going to be, if any issue you have, whether it's account, troubleshooting, community, and safety, you can pick from there. Or if you have other, just place that there and throw into the comments what your problem was, as well as your username and your email, any files of screenshots of the issue. And once you submit this, it's going to send us a support email so we can, you know, get in contact with the user to fix any problems they have. So this isn't complete. We know we have a few things to do before finalizing our last demo, but we see this as a really good starting place for demo 1, and we really wanted to share what we had as a front-end team, you know, to our users. So just thank you for, you know, tuning in for our presentation.
Wow. Thank you so much, front-end team. I mean, your work is incredible. Y'all did a great job, and I really look forward to the next month where, you know, we really hone in on the next pieces of this application. It's going to be fantastic. Awesome. Moving on, we now have our backend team. So, you know, they are security-centric superstars because our StudyStack is built as a, you know, quote unquote dumb client. So what that means is that the front end must completely rely on the server for all information and content. So there's a lot of push and a pull from the client side to make sure data is up to date, making sure that, you know, you change your name because you accidentally misspelled it, and make sure that, you know, that's always reflected into the front end. We don't store any information on the front end, and why should we? That's not very security minded. So without further ado, take it away, backend team.
My name is Raymond Lee, and we have Jordan Tyler here, and we are the backend team for the StudyStackApp. Just a quick overview of what we'll be going over. We'll be going over the structure of the server and design that we use to implement the code, and I'll show you a couple endpoint examples. And Jordan will talk briefly about the database design and the implementation of our database. So for our design, we use the MVC, which is the Model View Controller, and it's a software design used to implement user interfaces, data, and controlling logic. We chose this design because it provides a separation of concerns within our application meaning that our server is divided into smaller components, making it easier to maintain, modify, and manage the software, which also improves the scalability. The model aspect represents our application's data structure and the business logic. It defines the data our app contains. If the state of the data changes, the model notifies the view, as you can see in the diagram. And the view defines how this app data is displayed to the user. And the controller is more so the brain. It contains logic that updates our model and view in response to the user input. In this case, our user inputs are in the form of client requests. So now I'll slide over and give you a couple endpoint examples. We use Postman to serve as a client that'll send a request to our server, and our server will send a response back. So for this example, we're going to use a register user endpoint. And the client sends an object with first name, last name, email, and password. And the response is sent. And this is what we get back: a message, a user ID, and a token that'll be sent back to the client. And so we will need the user ID to create a post categories request within our database. And then we'll send this endpoint. And this is what the response will be back to the client on the front end side of our application. And then we'll go ahead and put a stack within our current application. And then we need the ID of the user and the category. So then we send this request to our server. And then as you can see, the stack is added. And then now we will make a get user info request to show that everything has been sent to the database. And then with the register user we created, all the info, all the post requests that we made should be sent back as a response to our client. As you can see, the user is found. The user we created is Ronaldo Garcia. You can see his email and password. You can see our category, which is sports psychology, and then you can see our stack that we created for cards and answers to be created within that category. And Jordan, can you take it over?
Sure thing. Give me one moment here. Let me get my screen share up here. Okay, so to kind of expand on what Raymond was talking about, this is our database diagram. This kind of shows the design methodology we used in order to service our users. So here is an example of a user object. They've got a user ID assigned to them when they're generated, along with their first name, last name, email, and password that are passed by the client. And then categories as well. So each category has the associated user ID with it, and the title, and the stack title along with the stack ID and the category ID that it's associated with that Raymond had just shown off. Basically, categories exist in users, a stack exists within a category, cards exist within stacks, and card answers exist within cards. And to give a more technical example here, in our actual MongoDB database, this is an example of a user that we have here, and inside of this are an array of objects, and that object is the category here, and then each of those categories is going to have a stack array, and then those stack arrays are going to have stacks within them, and that's the stack title there. Same thing with cards. We're going to have the card with the content and answer sitting in here. So that is about it for the back end. Not much else to talk about. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, back-end team. Fantastic work. y'all are rock stars. Awesome. So, that kind of concludes our demo one. Our roadmap from here to, the end of the semester together, we're really pushing to add the integration for users to be able to share with friends. That's one of our big things, as well as finishing up some really required features in there, like being able to customize your stack the way you see fit, or we don't have deletion in right now, and we would really like to have deletion. That way you don't have to contact support every time that you would like to delete a stack because it's just not working for you or something like that. Finally, we would like to implement end-to-end testing across the front end as well. So those are just some of our highlights and our goals that we plan to finish off strong with the year. Thank you for your time, and have a great rest of your day.